we've got this from I Love Congress. It says Trump is I wish I could read, man. Trump is revoking student visas and calling those people illegal and deporting them with no due process. But the protesters are the problem. LOL. So this bugs me and annoys me so much because everything that's being done in regards to what this person, I don't know if it's a male or female, is referring to, all that's being done through due process. So it's entirely discretionary, I think, to a certain extent, whether or not you can have a visa. I think who's the person, whatever department of the government Marco Rubio oversees, has some level of discretion where they can be like, okay, well, we're going to revoke this visa because, you know, we want to, more or less. They have the right to do that. And so, you know, that is.
I need more context to understand.
Oh my goodness. Shut up, Gemini. It's like there are these federal powers that exist that say, hey, at this person's discretion, we can revoke a visa. That's due process. Now, so due process, for those of you who are not aware, if you're a little bit confused, due process is, okay, we've got a process that must be followed to do a particular thing. You must go through all these steps in order for things to follow due process. And so if that's what you're referring to when you say no due process, then you're just lying, because that's not what's going on. Now, if what you mean by due process is there's a certain way that I think things should be done, and that's not how things are being done, then yeah, sure, I get what you're saying, right? If you're saying, oh, there should be a more rigorous process to determine whether or not someone should or shouldn't have access to their student visa, then I can understand. But that's a little bit different than saying like the laws aren't being followed, for example, or Trump is acting unlawfully when it comes to removing these visas or deporting these illegal immigrants, because those are just false. They're not true. So that's kind of my response to that. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I don't know how tapped in you are with American immigration law. I mean, you must have studied it at some point because you want to come here.
I have no knowledge of that at all.
Yeah, that's fair.